Joe Rogan is tearing apart Charlie Kirk's chief of security, Brian Harpole, for betraying Charlie. Brian's story is falling apart, and all of his lies are being exposed. New details about Charlie Kirksation and the people responsible for it are now coming out. Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, and some of Charlie's closest allies are all allegedly involved.
You want people to lose all faith that anyone is going to solve anything.
Yeah.
You add a bunch of, if you're going to you add a bunch of other wacky shit that doesn't make any sense, and you spam it out there at the same time. You leave a gun that didn't do it out in the woods. You do a bunch of like that.
Let's start from the beginning. On September 10th, 2025, during a debating event as part of his American Comeback Tour, Charlie Kirk was shot to death at Utah Valley University in Orem. Seconds after Charlie was shot, a middle-aged man standing in the crowd confessed to the and was arrested by the FBI. He was later discovered to be lying, as the actual shooter, or well-alleged shooter, was found on one of the rooftops in front of Charlie. 2 days after the shooting, this shooter, Tyler Robinson, was arrested after he allegedly walked into a police station and confessed. His gun was also discovered near the crime scene, with an allegedly no serial number. Now, this is where things get interesting. After the arrest of Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk's chief of security gave an interview, and none of the things he said made any sense.
Monday before, this correspondence went to Chief Long. Hello, Chief Long. We received this message today from the student group. There is a student roof access pretty close to where CK will be set up at the Utah Valley. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that go up to walkways on the roofs. He comes back, and for edification, the Sorensen Center was the building in front of the Lucy Center. And so he comes back and he says, you want access to the roof. And came back and said, I was told students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well if possible. He comes back, and his last correspondence was, I got you covered. What else am I to do? When a command level person from an accredited police department says, I've got this area. Jeez.
Please pick me. Okay. When you're like in school and you got to hold your hand up because you really want a teacher to see you. I have an answer for what you could have done. You could have followed up because it's your job and Charlie paid you millions of dollars not to pass the buck. No. Also, you asked the police chief an either or question. And I'm just kind of like trying to understand the basic construct of sentences. He said, got you covered. What does that mean? It was an either or question. Either provide us access or get somebody up there. Got you covered means what? No follow-up? That's it? Millions and millions of dollars on his security annually. And you just said, hey, a student told us that there's a rooftop and it would be good if we could have access to it, or if one of your guys could secure it. Got you covered. That's it. That's what Charlie was paying for?
Keep in mind that there was a credible threat against Charlie's life, and just 24 hours before he was shot, Charlie actually texted multiple people in his circle that he was scared for his life. Brian was being paid millions of dollars, and these are the kinds of things he was doing. You have to wonder if this was just a mistake or if he was doing this on purpose, because the next things he said was this.
Thousands of dollars on drones last year and got the guy's license. But if the area lies in the Provo, Utah airspace, I can't fly it. That's a 107B. We can't break the rules. Right? And then you had secondary restrictions, probably due to heavy foot traffic for the school, but I can't go in and break the rules. There's laws for a reason. And so now the school could have flown drones, the PD, but they didn't have them, right? But Orem PD has a drone unit active and professional, and that police department, I will tell you right now, is awesome. They get it. They were there, they helped both on the soft side and the hard side. And so I started asking questions like, you guys have a drone unit? Yeah, good. Do you have an MOU or a mutual aid agreement with the school? And they're like, yeah. I said, did they call you and ask for assistance? No. I'm like, why wouldn't you call? And then, so, that's one. So just, I can't go in and break the law. I can't make my guys break the law. I can't go in and do something that would jeopardize their
Do you have any idea why they would say no?
Brian claims that it's illegal to fly a drone near the camp. This is a lie, and he knows this. Brian has been in charge of his security company for years. All private security companies have licenses to fly drones. Multiple other experts have already proven this.
Brian Harple's not being factually accurate. Again, I don't want to quote him. I implore you guys to go back and check his interview out. But in his interview, he spoke a lot about not being able to legally fly a drone. Now, if any of you are familiar with the policies, procedures of filing one of the FAA 30-day notices or requests, or the Lance approvals, this particular area, I went and fact-checked him. I heard him say that he couldn't legally fly it based on the police's suggestion that they possibly will be covering the event, or that he's got them covered. And he used that as the legal pretext for not being able to fly, I assume. But the key is the key thing he said is he cannot legally fly. And that's just not factually accurate. So I went ahead and fact-checked him. I actually acquired a Lance approval for this specific site in a 3/4-mile radius around the campus. As far as the state law, as Utah is concerned, the state of Utah, they basically echo federal law. And so federal law dictates that, yes, you can get a permit under 107 rules, which, if this guy was operating a security contract company, he would have to have a 107 license. He'd have to be operating under the 107 license banner, which means that he would be able to, in this specific circumstance, get a Lance approval instantly. I acquired a Lance approval for the site within 20 seconds.